Hey there, YouTube. This is Vargas, and I'm here with you because I wanted to give my thoughts on the last movie that I'm probably going to see this year, and that's Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. It's a couple days after Christmas. I went to see this movie on Friday, and I was totally going to do a review at night, but we got home from the theater kind of late because it's a 2.5 hour long movie, but with all the freaking commercials and trailers and everything, we got out kind of late. Got home, got the kids to sleep, and I was just really tired. I haven't been sleeping that well, so I went to sleep. But it actually worked out because it gave me a couple more time to reflect on the movie, and I've been avoiding as much as humanly possible, any sort of spoilers from any videos or video reviews on YouTube. I like to go to the Star Wars movies fresh. And one thing I really like about the recent Star Wars thing is that they do avoid spoilers for the most part. The only big spoiler is the reveal of the Emperor. That Emperor Palpatine was going to come back. But I understand why they did that, to make the hype. But yeah, I wanted to reflect a little bit more, and now after seeing the movie, I want to get a feel for what people are thinking about it, because none of my friends have gone to see it, and yeah, apparently this movie is not being well received. The critics don't like it, and now reading online, a lot of people don't seem to like it. And I posted on Facebook that I went to see it, and I was really happy with it. I really liked it. And I'm going to talk about why. But a friend of mine from work, well, an ex-friend of mine from work, wrote in on my post that he didn't like it. He felt that all of the Disney movies were garbage to him. And that's something that I am seeing in a lot of Facebook groups and stuff like that, that a lot of people don't like this movie. And there are some points I can see why. But I don't see why. I don't understand all the hate that all of the movies have gotten. I understand there's a lot of diehard fans of the original trilogy, and it's a really high bar to try to reach. Star Wars, Episode 4, 5, and 6. Oh, I'm sorry. Are really good movies. They set the bar up so high, and the prequels came out, and not a lot of people like those. I like parts of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and I don't much like the Clone Wars, but Attack of the Clones, and I really like Revenge of the Sith. But a lot of people hate those, but they can't seem to get outside of the bubble of just the three main Star Wars movies. I'm a Star Wars fan. I saw Return of the Jedi in the theater, and I love the Star Wars saga. But I'm also willing to give new stuff a chance. I gave the prequels a chance. Hit or miss, say what you will about those. They're part of the story, and like I said, they're not as good as the original one, but they're part of the Star Wars saga. And, I like Rebels. I like the Clone Wars cartoon. I liked Force Awakens. I thought it was really good. Last Jedi, that one's... I have issues with that one. That's the Attack of the Clones of this new trilogy. I really didn't like things that they did with that one. Sorry. Hope I don't. I just came out of the cold, and I feel like I'm coming down with one again. So I have issues with Last Jedi. Rogue One is, I think, the best one of these new movies, and Solo was fun. But I was really looking forward to this one because it's the end of this new Disney cycle, and I liked it. I liked it. It was better than Last Jedi. I will admit that there are some plot points that were touched upon in Last Jedi that seem to be like... Because Last Jedi was really bad received. I think that's the downfall, or what started the downward spiral of the Star Wars fans, because everyone liked Force Awakens, everyone liked Rogue One. But then Last Jedi came out, and I think that's the point where everyone started to get really sour on Star Wars. Because Solo was the one that came out after Last Jedi, and that one did poorly. And then this one is still getting a lot of backlash. Even though The Mandalorian has been really well received, a lot of people like The Mandalorian. We don't get Disney Plus here in Mexico yet, so I haven't been able to see it. But I've heard nothing but good things about The Mandalorian. So the love of Star Wars is there. But even still, I know people that hate The Mandalorian and Rebels and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't know. I really do feel that some fans have just become too toxic. They can't get past the original movies. And I'm not knocking the original movies. I love them. I love the original movies. But I love Revenge of the Sith. I thought that's pretty good. That's the best one of the prequels. And I love The Force Awakens. I love the characters they introduced. I think the thing that they hate about the newer movies is that they're killing off the old characters. But I wish the characters could live on forever. But it's a long time after the events of Return of the Jedi. People get old. Even in universe, they get old. They're gonna die, and I think this is just like a progression of that. So, does it suck that they're killing off the characters? Yeah, it sucks. It sucks that they killed off Han Solo. It sucks that they killed off Luke. But it's gonna happen. I mean, it sucked when they killed all the Jedi's in Revenge of the Sith. It happens. It's one of the things I like, and I've mentioned this a bunch of times, that I love about Dragon Ball is that there's progression. Goku starts as a kid, he turns into a teenager, he gets married, he has a family, and everything, follows life. And I don't like sagas that just get stuck, or it's my frustration with comic books that there's progression and then reboot, and then we start all over again. There's no progression in comic books. They just reset everything and go back. And that's what I like about this sequel trilogy. There's progression. It sucks that the characters are dying, but there's a progression in the universe, and that's what I like. And that's like what I think that some fans can't get over. They don't want change, and I don't get that. But right off the bat, I am going to touch upon really quickly some spoilers. So if you haven't seen The Rise of Skywalker, don't watch my video because I do want to talk about some spoilers. Watch the video after you watch the movie. But yeah, I just wanted. It's already been out for 2 weeks, maybe going on 3. No, I'm pretty sure it's only been 2 weeks. But by the time I post this video, it will probably be 3 weeks. So yeah, spoilers. I do want to touch about some things that I liked and didn't like. Like, for example, the text crawl at the beginning says that right off the bat announces that the Emperor announced that he was come back and he was going to exact revenge. I would have liked to have listened to that recording, but it didn't happen. But it's fine. Return of the Jedi happened a while ago, but it seemed like something big that should have been, made available in the movie. But Kylo Ren feels threatened because the Emperor is going to come back, and he's like, I just became like commander of the First Order. I'm not going to let anyone get in my way. So he actively goes hunting against Palpatine, and he finds him in the planet of Exegol, which is like the Sith homeworld. And there he finds a zombie Palpatine, because they kind of hint that it came back through a combination of cloning and Sith magic. But he's like zombie Palpatine. His eyes are wide and his face is all decayed, and he's missing a couple of fingers. But he's still trying to get. And it's revealed that he was behind Snoke. And this is a thing that feels like they pulled Palpatine out of the hat because they killed Snoke in Last Jedi, and it doesn't seem like that was the plan. The plan was to have Snoke be the main bad guy. But they killed Snoke in Last Jedi and was like, oh crap, we need a bad guy. Well, bring Palpatine back. It feels like they really did pull that out of the hat just to have a villain in this one. Which is fine. If you're going to have a villain in Star Wars universe, who better than Palpatine? So I was okay with that. So he's promising Kylo Ren to, he'll be in control of this fleet of Star Destroyers that have Death Star technology. So each Star Destroyer can destroy a planet. All he wants in return is to bring Rey to him. So, by the way, no, he actually says he wants Rey killed, which contradicts something that happens later on. But anyway, Rey is training with Leia, and unfortunately, Carrie Fisher died when Rogue One released. So they did a weird combination of CGI and scenes that she recorded during, I think, Force Awakens. So there are some parts look good, some parts clearly look like they CGI'd her face on an actress. But they did the best they could with the card that was dealt with them, because in Last Jedi they killed off Luke, so the main character that was going to be was Leia, but Carrie Fisher died, so they can't bring back Luke, and they have to work with what little they have with Carrie Fisher. But Rey's training, and then they find out about the Emperor, and her, Finn, and Poe, C-3PO, and Chewbacca are trying to find the coordinates to Exegol to take the fight to the Emperor. So they're doing that, and the big thing that, please, 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 if you don't want this movie spoiled, don't watch this part. But because this is a big thing in the movie, it's revealed that Rey, because in Last Jedi, in The Force Awakens, it's kind of hinted that she might be something important. In Last Jedi, they kind of throw that out the window, and they're like, "Yeah, you're nothing. You're just a your parents stitched you in Yaku, and you're nothing. Your lineage is nothing," which sucked. That's one thing that got a lot of people really upset. And in this one, they kind of went back with a plan. Everyone thought that maybe Rey was Luke Skywalker's kid. In this one, it's revealed that she's actually the granddaughter of Emperor Palpatine, and that really doesn't work because there's no way that the Emperor would father a child, because he's so power hungry that he would try to extend his own life and not depend on a kid. In the extended universe, maybe he would have had I guess the reasoning is that they would have had a child so that Palpatine would be able to use him in some way, but the child escapes, gets married, and has Rey. So that whole thing doesn't really make sense. How the Emperor would have a child, and then that child would have a granddaughter, which is Rey. Because turns out they left Rey in Yaku so that the Emperor can't get to her, that's the only plot hole that doesn't really make sense. It doesn't feel like something that the Emperor would do, because a thing that the Emperor would do is clone a younger body and have his spirit inhabit the clone. Or maybe, like he did in the expanded universe, corrupt one of the Skywalker's kids and try to enter their body to be reborn again, which is actually something that did happen in the books. So that plot hole doesn't make much sense. But they're fighting, and Rey finds this out, and she's like, "Holy shit! I'm bound to be evil, and I don't want that." So there's conflict. Lando Calrissian is back, and that was pretty cool seeing him, because he's Lando, and they also bring back Wedge Antilles at the end for a brief cameo, and that really sucks. I think Wedge should have been like in Force Awakens or at least Last Jedi, because he was a big deal in the Star Wars saga. He was in the Battle of Death Star. He was in Empire Strikes Back. He was a big deal in the Battle of Endor, and in the expanded universe, he's a big deal. He's even in the video games, Rogue One, the video games. He's in there, so he's a big deal, and it felt to me always weird that he was always relegated to not being in these. I guess maybe he was supposed to die or something, but he's here in this one, and that was cool. Great to see Wedge Antilles again. So they did bring him back in a cameo, and they also got Warwick David to replay Widget the Ewok. So that was pretty cool too. So Rey's in conflict. She goes to the planet where Luke was, and Luke's like, you can't let your lineage mess you up. You gotta, rise above your parentage. So she does, and she goes to the Death Star remains to get the coordinates to. Well, that happened before she went to the remains of the Death Star in Endor to get the coordinates to where the Emperor is in Exegol. There she fights Kylo Ren, and Leia dies. And it's the death of Leia that kind of snaps him back into the good side. And, it kind of snaps him out of the dark side and gets him back into the light side. Harrison Ford appears as a vision, and I thought that was really cool to have him have that moment. It's a kind of like a recreation of the Force Awakens, where he killed the conversation that they had before he kills him, but this time played out the way that Han Solo wanted, where he doesn't kill him and he comes back to the light side. I thought that was pretty cool. So Rey goes to Hexagol, he confronts the Emperor, and this is where the plot kind of gets muddled, because it turns out that the Emperor didn't want Rey dead. He was actually counting on Rey coming to Hexagol so that she would kill him, and that would activate part of the Sith magic where his spirit would enter her, and she would be corrupted by the Emperor and the Sith, and she would become the new Empress of evil. So that's a lot of maybe forward thinking on the Emperor's part, that okay, I'm gonna send Kylo Ren to kill her in the hopes that Rey's powerful enough to defeat him, make her way to Hexagol, kill me, and then I'll corrupt her. That's a really big leap in logic from the Emperor's part. And it worked out somehow. But Kylo Ren abandons his persona of Kylo Ren. He's back to being Ben Solo. Goes to Exegol to help Rey. And then they have a really cool moment when Rey kind of like transfers a lightsaber to him, and he has a lightsaber, and he does the Han Solo thing, like he just like shrugs, and then starts fighting the Knights of Ren. And there's this big dogfight scene, much like Return of the Jedi, where they're above Exegol. The pathetic Rebel Alliance is trying to fight the massive armada of Star Destroyers, and then help comes in, and that's when Gentilis appears. Lando Calrissian is in the Falcon, and you can see the Ghost from Star Wars Rebels, which I thought was pretty cool. And they're fighting, but then when Ben Solo and Rey Palpatine are together, they generate a lot of Force energy. So Palpatine starts absorbing that and like reconstructs himself. He's like, "Well, this is a happy surprise." And he unleashes a massive amount of Force lightning and disables all the Rebel ships. And he's like, well, a Skywalker threw me away and killed me, so I'm going to do the same to the last of the Skywalkers, and throws Ben to a pit, a la Superman 2. And as Rey's just like there, all defeated, she starts like meditating. And this is the moment that got to me, besides the Harrison Ford cameo. The moment that really got to me is when she's like trying to communicate with all the last Jedi of the previous Jedis, and you can hear Anakin Skywalker's voice. You can hear Qui-Gon Jinn, Yoda, Ahsoka Tano. There's a couple of other Jedi I didn't make out. Mace Windu. Obi-Wan, but the Ewan McGregor version and the Alec Guinness version, and I thought it was really cool because it called back to, the prequels, the cartoons, and the original trilogy. So that moment got to me where you could hear the voices of all these Jedi, and that gives her the strength, and she defeats the Emperor, and peace is restored to the galaxy. So I liked it. I liked that last part, and I had a lot of fun with the movie. It kind of does, again, pull the Emperor out of the hat, because they killed the Snoke character in The Last Jedi, and a lot of people really complain about Rose, which is a character they introduced on the Last Jedi, and in this one, it's like, well, she wasn't well received, so we're just gonna relegate her to a couple of scenes. No, we won't count you. And And Rose wasn't a bad character. It was it's just the way that they used her that didn't work. Um, so it does feel like they were trying to fix or do damage control on everything that happened in the Last Jedi. But I thought it was cool. Mark Hamill's in back in this one as Force Ghost, and he is able to raise his whole ship. And I thought that was pretty cool. So there's a lot of good moments. If you like Star Wars, there's a lot of callbacks to that, which I liked and I appreciate. Again, Wedge Antilles. A lot of people might not know who that is, but I was really, really happy to see Wedge in this movie. I really felt like he was needed in the other two movies, and he came back, and that was awesome. But I liked it. I liked it. I gave it a 10 on my Facebook page. When it comes out in home media, I'm definitely going to buy it so I can complete the whole series. Um, but I definitely like it. Does it have issues? Yeah, it does have certain issues. Like I said, the whole plan of the Emperor doesn't make a lick of sense. Like, you need Rey. Why send Kylo Ren to kill her? That's stupid. Like, bring me Rey and I will deal with her. That's different. But like, no, kill her in the vague hope that maybe I will be able to corrupt her. Fine. But yeah, I liked it. It's well acted. The effects are great. The last scene with the dogfights and all the lightning coming down, I liked it. I liked that. Um, Finn, Poe, C-3PO, Rey having their little adventure was cool. Seeing Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia, even though it was kind of like CGI, was welcome. Seeing Mark Hamill back as Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Harrison Ford back as Han Solo was great. Lando Calrissian, it was good. It was good. I had a good experience. I was genuinely afraid that I wasn't going to be able to see it in theater, but my wife was able to get tickets, and my mother-in-law took care of the kids, so we went to see it, and I'm grateful that I got to see it, and I had fun. I had a lot of fun with the movie. Was it a perfect movie? It's not a perfect trilogy. Force Awakens, great. Last Jedi has a ton of issues, and Rise of Skywalker was just doing damage control from what happened. So it's something that I've heard in a lot of comments from people, is that it doesn't feel consistent, and I agree. It doesn't feel consistent. The the bad thing is the way that Last Jedi went. That one doesn't feel like it was going through a plan. Like, everything was set up in Force Awakens, and Last Jedi said nuts to that. We're going to do something weird, and it kind of messed up the planned trilogy. So again, it feels like damage control, but they did the best they could, and I went out of the movie fine with it. It was good. I had a lot of fun with the movie. It was a spectacle. And I can't fault what they did. Does it have plot holes? Yes, the whole Emperor plan doesn't make any sense. Like, no sense. Why why would you send Kylo Ren to kill her if you need her for your plan? It doesn't make. I thought maybe the plan was to corrupt Kylo Ren so that the Emperor would possess Kylo Ren like he did like he tried to do in the books, but they made Rey a Palpatine, so. Fine. Fine, whatever. So that one does seem weird, but again, it's a good movie. I had fun with it. I'll rewatch it, and I'll buy it when it comes out in physical media, and I'll put it proudly in my Star Wars collection of movies because it's good. It's good. I enjoyed it. Your mileage may vary. I know a lot of people that did not like it. But to each their own. I just hope my conversation in my video about what I thought of it might ease the negativity that the movie is getting, because it's getting destroyed. A lot of people some people did like it, some people really, really didn't like it, and I know that it's not doing too well box office wise. It started strong, but the negativity towards it is really killing it. So I hope it does good enough that they don't give up on producing Star Wars movies. Because even though this is the end of this chapter, um, and I don't know what's going to happen with Disney Plus, if everything's going to go in Disney Plus and they're just not going to release movies theatrically, which would suck. Um, I don't know, but hopefully they do keep releasing more Star Wars movies because I want to see more Star Wars movies. It's the spectacle of seeing it in a big screen where Star Wars deserves to be. So yeah, I hope my possibly really long video didn't dissuade you. I hope it brought enough positive points to it. Uh, Admittedly, yes, I am biased because I love Star Wars. Because I'm a Star Wars fan. I love it since I went to see Return of the Jedi in the theater. But if you love Star Wars, you'll probably like it. And it's a good movie. It's not a bad. It's not a badly made movie. It's a good movie, good acted, good effects, good callbacks to the whole series. The whole series, even the cartoons, everything comes together in this movie, and it does give, like I felt it gives a nice payoff to what they tried to do in Force Awakens. So let me know in the comments what you thought of Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. And until I see you all again, this was Vargas, thanking you all and signing out.